Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I have a card idea to share with you that's all about patterned paper. Painted Autumn Designer Series paper, and there's many different pieces that we're going to use in the same project. I'm making a different kind of a fold for my card today. It's a standard sized card base at 11 inches long and 4 1/4 wide. I've scored it in a different place to create a flap that's going to open from the bottom as well. We're going to make a couple of different panels, and I'm going to use that same Painted Autumn Designer Series paper and layer it onto a piece of the Crumb Cake cardstock. This is going to create a bit of a background and a breakup area from the paper that will be featured on the bottom flap. I have more of the same paper from the same card pack in that inside of the card as well. It all works together perfectly. I'm adhering these down to the card base and not raising them up on dimensionals because I don't want to have any extra bulk besides what I'm choosing to add up on top with the decorations. I fussy cut several different of the sunflowers to feature on the bottom flap, which is going to make sure that the top flat stays in place. Designer Series paper is not as thick as cardstock, so in order to increase the stability, I have a scrap of the same cardstock that is cut to the same width. I'm placing it directly behind the sunflowers and will use my paper snips to go around all of the sunflower area to create a border, and this is going to give the sunflowers something to hold on to instead of being floating out above the front panel of the card. It's not a necessary step, but I felt that it was better to give the card more stability. I'm using the same paper that was on the inside of the card with the leaf punch together to give a different textured look of the leaves. This is keeping in with the theme that all of the papers I'm using today are pattern papers. To bring a little bit more depth into those punched out leaves, I have Emerald Envy ink pad with a sponge dauber, and I'm just giving a little bit more life to the leaves. Not that they don't have enough color from the pattern paper, but I want them to definitely stand out a bit more from the background. There are many different pretty colors in the background, but I want those leaves to really stand up and shout that they are leaves and they're definitely not a part of the background area. I'll be adhering them down to the top flap with some liquid glue, but one of the leaves I'm going to raise up on dimensionals so that I can have it set up away from the rest. This is going to help to create the look of depth, and it's going to give a little bit of interest and texture for my card. Any of the stems that hang down below that top flap will be easy for me to cut away with my paper snips. The sentiment for this card is created with the Painted Harvest stamp set, and the sentiments are written in a beautiful script. They're too easy to pass up. They're just really yummy and nice. And I'm also going to be stamping that onto some pattern paper. I chose a piece of pattern paper to stamp the sentiment that is got an area of more of a neutral space that will allow the stamped words to show up, but also has some interest and color. Early Espresso ink matches the rest of the colors in the colorway, And the Everyday Label Punch is a perfect way to feature this in my design to break up the colors in the background. I'm going to adhere this down on the top flap near the bottom so that it looks like it is nestled in behind the sunflowers. I will not raise this panel. I'll make sure that it lays flat and doesn't interfere with the bottom panel opening to get to the inside of the card. I know this is a little bit of a different type of design. It's just a little something different, and it helps me to make something that's a little bit different. It helps my creative brain, and it also is something very nice to be able to share with somebody as a Thanksgiving card or just a thankful summer card. Thank you all for joining me for another card making tutorial. Please feel free to visit my website at jennystampsup.com for more card making ideas. While there, please click the Shop Now button to make your Stampin' Up! Purchase. Thank you for joining me for another tutorial. I'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Trip. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.